Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well today. It's Monday, it's November 16th. Um, I'm making a quick video today. I don't know, I just felt like doing this, so it's kind of on the fly, but here we go. So I wanted to start off by mentioning that, I try to thank everybody, all the supporters. I'm on social media and I'm seeing the comments and tweets and everything. So I wanted to start off by saying thank you. I'm so appreciative of it from everyone, from everyone. One group that I particularly want to give a shout out today to is law enforcement. I'm not sure if in the other videos I've said this, but in case I haven't, I am so grateful for your help. Thank you so much for your support and I don't know what to say. Thank you. Uh, I'm great. I am deeply indebted. I am deeply indebted, and I understand that this is a unique situation, and I'm open to any suggestions you have. Um, I, I really, could use all the advice I could get. The next point I want to make, I've made a post on Facebook, and I don't see it there, and just in case it's not there, I want to go on record. Um, my social media accounts have been being hacked. People have been tweeting on my behalf, putting information on my behalf. And I want to make something clear. This makes me nervous because they can put any sort of information out there, and then once it hits social media, it spreads, and then right. So I want to make people aware. My social media accounts, both Facebook as well as Twitter, you should right. I want you. Of course, I wholeheartedly am asking you to go ahead and check me out there on Facebook and Twitter, but be aware that my social media accounts have been being hacked. People have tweeted on my behalf without my permission. It's an issue I'm trying to get straightened out. It makes me nervous because right now, with the situation I'm in, it could lead to a lot of problems, right? So I want to get that out there. The other piece of information I want to share is that God forbid anything happens to me, and I'm an atheist. But if in the event of my untimely death, I do want Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada to have to take over my all of my social media accounts, all of them. I'm on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and I would like him to take over all of those accounts. He's free to use them at his discretion. I right now, if you're wondering why if you're wondering why I chose Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for this, is because the way he thinks and expresses himself is in line with the way I think, and I don't express myself as well, but that was the reason. Hands down, I have to say, if there was anyone who personifies and reflects the values and priorities that I have, that's one person I would pick. So there you have it. It's on record. I do want Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to have custody of all of my social media accounts in case anything happens to me. All right, so here we go. Now this is the main the main event for this video. When I started out, so many of you know, I'm a former Jehovah's Witness. I left the cult in 1995. I was aged 28 years old, right? A couple years later, I started helping others leave the cult. And my focus was primarily teens and young adults. Um, to tell the truth, I didn't have a plan. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have a list of, okay, first we're gonna do this, now we're gonna, it was all trial and error. It was like, let's see what works. But you know what I mean? I know from being in the cult how Jehovah's Witnesses think and feel and so forth and so on. But I really didn't have this whole big, plan of how I was gonna try to get teens and young adults to leave, as well as, and others. But it worked out. It worked out. And so I'm finding out now that a lot of teens and young adults from other cults are leaving as well. So I am so thrilled about that. I am thrilled. I'm also learning that other cults globally are now coming on radar, which is good. It's excellent. The reason why this is important, and I mention this just about in every video I make, is that there's a criminal element in cults, right? And so basically, it's nothing but a grifting operation. It's scamming people. It's what they do is for every member of that cult, they study them and they figure out what can they get out of each member. Now they're going to go for as many resources as possible. So that includes your money, it includes your time, your energy building their churches or kingdom halls or whatever it is. So they're going to try to exploit you and get as much of your resources as possible. So if let's say you're a mom, most moms tend to be nurturing and everything, they're going to look for donations from you, for monetary donations from you. They're going to ask you if you're Jehovah's Witness, spend all your time preaching and recruiting other people into the cult. For young adults, they look at your talents and skills. If you have great math skills, that's going to be important. If you have great mechanical skills, or you're handy, you can do repairs and stuff, that's going to be important. And again, any skill. If you're observant, one of those detail-oriented people, that's going to be a skill. So they're going to try to exploit each skill you have. And again, most cults deal with human trafficking. So they, the person that's good with math skills, well, maybe there's a drug cartel that could use that individual, right? If there's another cult that has all of these rich millionaires in there, and they want to keep an eye on them, right? Oh wait, there's this person. She's an honest person, or has the reputation of being trustworthy. We'll use her. So each person in that cult, their qualities and their skills, their strengths are all being analyzed. And okay, so how can we use this individual? And again, it's meant to enrich the cult and benefit the cult. And that's why with most cults, they tell you if you leave, you can't speak to your family, your friends, your this or that. Because once you leave, they're going to try to steer you off into some type of criminal activity. It could be something even as making illegal copies of DVDs and things like that. So you have to be careful. One of the ways they start off is they get you isolated from your friends and family. So if you notice one by one, they're telling you, oh, cut this person off, cut this next person off. Be careful. That's a red flag right there. It means they're trying to set you up for danger. So be careful. Be careful. The next thing that another thing that they try to do, right, is they try to make you feel that you're at fault. You're the person that's not, you know what I mean? Like you're not being cooperative. So yeah, you got to be careful. Another thing that they try to do is they try to assess how compliant you are. And so what that means is if I'm talking to you, for example, and I say to you, oh, Sarah, you need to sit up straight. That's not great posture you have there. And you adjust your posture, then that means you understand just that one, even though it seems innocent, just by me being able to give you an order or give you something to do and you comply, that's what they're looking for. They'll tell you, and they can tell you any kind of thing, but again, they're looking for you to see how compliant you are. There's been instances where for me, if I'm reading a book or something and someone comes and starts talking to me, oh, put that book down, I want to tell you this. If you put that book down, again, they're looking to see how compliant you are. Now, if you say, well, wait a minute, let me finish this up first and then I'll come back to you. It's about trying to find out who's gonna take control of the situation. The same thing. If they want to see, so basically, what I'm telling you, if you're a young adult or a teen, is be very aware of anyone who tries to give you all of these orders, um, and what I call them is unnecessary orders. Look at me, look at me. I want you to, all of these are necessary. If you're talking to someone but you're not looking directly at them, but you're listening, you're attentive, you're not really doing anything wrong. But if they tell you, look at me, again, it's a matter of seeing who holds control. And if you obey and if you comply, then they walk away with the message that she'll do whatever we tell her to do. And that's what they're looking for. They're trying to assess how obedient you are. As a Jehovah's Witness, we were told, be sheep-like, right? And so that works against us. When we leave the cult, we have to be aware of that. Right? So we have to be aware of that. Another thing I want to make sure that you guys are aware of. As teens, the natural inclination is to strike out on our own, strike out, and we want to be adventurous and all of this stuff. Be careful with that. My best advice to you is to stick in a group of friends. Stick with a group of friends. Now, if it's people that are still in the cult and that you can remain in touch with, that's one thing, right? That's fine. But your social network should also include people who are not in the cult. And be selective. Make sure whoever you are in association with has a good impact on your life, right? So I'm going to say that again. That person needs to be making a positive impact on your life. If they're getting you into all these kind of trouble and all kinds of different trouble, and then and picking up all these bad habits, that's not a person you want to hang around, okay? What happens with people like that is sometimes they start off with one thing, they get you into one bad habit, then the next, then the next, and the next. And the next thing you've entered into a life of crime and problems and all of this, and you don't want to do that. So be selective with your association. You want to hang out with people your own age, but you want them to be good associates. The other thing you want to do is make sure that you have adults in your life who can help you and mentor you going into the direction that you want to go. So don't, you know what I mean? When I encourage people to leave the cult, it has to be replaced. It has to be replaced with something positive. So you need to make sure you have people in your life that are going to help you reach your goals. I think the last piece of advice I want to give you for today is this. Sometimes when we leave a cult, right, we just feel empty. We feel this void. Jehovah's Witnesses preach. Armageddon's coming, and then after that, we're going to have a paradise earth, and we're going to, with animals and all this wonderful stuff. You have to be there. So after we leave the cult, then we feel, this emptiness, this void. We lack a sense of purpose. So my best advice to you is to fill that void and do it immediately, right? So if you have interests and hobbies, talents, use them. Develop them. My best piece of advice is don't just drift along, because that's how we end up in trouble. We get easily preyed on. So don't just drift along. And keep in mind that when we're in cults, they're observant of us. We think that we're just in this whole big pack of a tribe, a cult, and no one's paying attention, and that's incorrect. They're paying close attention. It's just that we're unaware of it. So again, they're able to steer people into our lives, whether it be through employment, whether it be through enrolling in school or whatever. So they're keeping an eye on us. And again, with human trafficking, if you're thinking that, some truck rolls up and you're pulled into a vehicle and all of this, no. The way human trafficking works is it's very, very, very slow. And it's very, to look at it, it's very innocent upon when you first, interact with people. But because they're not going to tell you their intent when they sit down with you, right? They're just going to let you believe that we're here to help and all this good, wonderful stuff. when in fact they have an agenda. But the thing about the agenda is it's developed slowly over time. They rope you in. So again, it's to prevent that. One of the best ways to prevent that is to fill your time up with positive stuff. Um, Again, if you have any kind of skills or talents, try to develop them. Try to acquire new skills or talents. If there's a social issue that you care about, whether it's homelessness, whether it's poverty, whether it's, for me, teens, young adults, whatever population you care about, whatever social issue you care about, spend time on it. Spend time. You don't want to, again, you don't want to just operate in this vacuum where nothing matters and you don't care about anything. No, you still want to stay connected and tied into society and to your community. So even though you leave the cult, you understand you still have a bigger society that you want to be part of. So my best advice to you is please, don't just leave the cult and that's what I did. I left without a plan. So make a plan. Make a plan. And again, try to get as many friends and both in the cult and outside the cult. If you're still roped into the cult that you have to, your parents are making you go, whatever, fine. You're in the cult. As many friends as possible that think like you, that want to leave. But you also, again, try to make friends outside the cult and try to get adults that are not connected to the cult in your life to help you. And especially when it comes to your career and your education. Jehovah's Witnesses when I was a Jehovah's Witness, we were told not to go to college. We were told that this world's going to end, blah, blah, blah. It's a waste of time, waste of money, so forth and so on. And that is one of the biggest regrets I have. I did not value education. And so another piece of advice to you is value your education. It's going to help you in the future if you put the time and work into it now during your youth, but it'll pay off in the end. So do the work now. Don't goof off. Don't just grit your teeth and hit the books. One thing about cult life is that it forces you to grow up quickly. The reason why is because there are people waiting to prey on you. They're waiting to take advantage of you. They want to use they want to try to get as many of your resources as possible. So it's important that you don't allow that to happen. And one of the best ways to do that is instead of pouring your resources into somebody else's agenda is to come up with your own agenda and devote your time and attention and all of your resources to what you want to do with your life, whatever you want for your future. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'm going to keep you guys updated as best I can, but hopefully we'll get through this okay. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.